Hi guys, my name is Majid, and in today's video I'm going to be comparing two phones for you guys, the Moto X from Motorola and of course the iPhone 5C, which was just released recently. Now the Motorola has been on the market for a little bit of time, but I thought it'd be a good comparison to put these two up together since they are kind of similarly spec'd. Now the Moto X is only available in Canada from Rogers, so if you want to check out this phone, I'll put a link down below to their website. And of course the Apple iPhone you can basically buy unlocked from the Apple Store or from your carrier at a subsidized price. So it's up to you what phone you choose, but let's begin with our comparison. So starting with the Moto X, it has a 4.7-inch AMOLED screen, and the iPhone 5C has a 4-inch LED backlit IPS LCD display. They're both very good in terms of how they look and viewing angles, but in terms of resolution, the Moto X has a 720 by 1280 pixel resolution compared to the 640 by 1136 pixels on the iPhone 5C. That's where it beats it in the pixel density of 326 compared to 316. Taking a look at the dimensions of both phones, you'll notice that they're very similar in terms of their size. The Moto X comes in at 129.3 millimeters in terms of length and 65.3 millimeters in terms of width. The iPhone 5C is just a bit smaller at 124.4 millimeters and 59.2 millimeters in terms of width. So they're very comparable in terms of size as well. And for thickness, the Moto X is slightly thicker at 10.4 millimeters compared to 9 millimeters on the iPhone 5, but it does have a bit of a curved back, which makes it feel not so thick. Now, taking a look at the front, you'll notice both the phones have a front-facing camera. The Moto X has an advantage because it has a 2-megapixel 1080p front-facing camera compared to the 1.2 megapixel 720p front-facing camera found on the iPhone 5C. So taking a look at the back, you'll notice they both have cameras. The Moto X has a bigger camera coming in at 10 megapixels, whereas the 8 megapixel camera on the 5C has just been carried over from the 5. They both have autofocus, LED flash, and they both record 1080p at 30 frames per second. This is a photo test that we did with the Moto X and 5C, and you can tell that the 5C has a bit of a warmer color temperature, so it looks a lot more vibrant and the color seems to be popping out as well. With the Moto X you have a bit of a cooler temperature and it's more of an even tone. It might be good for some of you guys that prefer that style, but in terms of sharpness they're both very sharp pictures and you can't really tell the difference from one to another. I mean, you might be able to read the text on the Moto X clearer since it has more megapixels, but overall they look pretty good. Now the same kind of stuff you can see in the video test. As you can see, the 5C seems to be a lot better at handling light. I mean, in terms of sharpness, they're both pretty much equal, but when it comes to light, as the laptop goes around, the 5C doesn't flicker at all and it keeps it very, very steady in terms of how much light is in the picture. Even though they're in the exact same environment, you see the Moto X trying to focus in, and sometimes the exposure on the lighting goes up and down, so you get a bit of a dark and light kind of video effect, which can be annoying if you're trying to take videos. Internally, both of these phones are pretty nicely spec'd out. So let's start off with the 5C and compare it to the Moto X that way. Internally, it has 16 and 32 gigabytes of storage that Apple offers with 1 gigabyte of RAM for the system memory. Wi-Fi, it has 802.11 ABGN with dual band support. It includes the Wi-Fi hotspot capability and Bluetooth 4.0. Moving over to the Moto X, you have 16 and 32 gigabyte storage sizes, same thing, but it comes with 2 gigabytes of LPDDR2 RAM, and for Wi-Fi it supports ABGN, but it also supports the latest generation AC, so it should give you some improved Wi-Fi